Did I leave Sam out of the online? If I did, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't know. He can hear everything right here.
Yeah, I just didn't have everybody's email, I guess.
And we're socially
We're
distant.
live now.
How about Lana?
I don't know. He can hear everything right here.
Lana's trying to join.
We're socially
We're
distant.
live now.
How about Lana?
Lana's trying to join.
Have we got Dana?
Hello, you got Lana.
Lana's there, okay.
Is that Lana that says iPhone 859?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, what about Dana?
Dana is coming now.
Okay.
Yeah, said she got logged
So
out.
it doesn't show.
It should show your video, Lana, when you turn your video on.
Let's say start video. Hey,
Oh, Lord, that's it.
Okay,
There it is.
okay, Melissa.
I scared you, didn't I?
Melissa Hamilton is saying she can't unmute.
Is she on a phone or the computer?
I think she's on her phone. It says Melissa's iPhone.
I had to scroll all the way over to the left, and then it had a little area up in the top left corner of my phone where I finally unmuted mine.
Okay. Hopefully she heard that.
I'll see if I can do it for her. I can help with some of that.
Okay.
So is Dana on where we can go ahead and start?
Yes, Dana's on.
She's on.
I'm here.
We got Lana and Tuck and
Yes.
Kent. And Randy will be here shortly. All right. This regularly scheduled meeting of the Bourbon County Board of Education is now in session. Let it be noted that all members are present with the exception of Mr. Sparks. This month's devotional is by Candace. Is Candace still there?
You know. I'm here, but I'm not prepared.
Well, just bless us all and pray for the
Oh.
next.
I just want to just briefly the role that I play in the hospital and for the school system. This is kind of like been something that's been very overwhelming, but also I have seen us grow as a community and really been able to acknowledge how important the medical profession is for our students and how desperately we need to kind of embrace the changes that are coming because they are all for the good of the kids and for the staff. And I just appreciate everybody being very open-minded. It's something that's not your normal like it is mine. And I just want to kind of give a kudos to Amy and the staff and all the board members being willing to just accept my thought process on a lot of things and trusting me to be able to do that. So I just appreciate that. So that's kind of my devotional.
Aw.
Thank you.
I would
Thank
like
you.
to add just a little bit to that, Candace. Thank you for what you do. And I don't know how you get through all of these situations that are going on, but I personally like to thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Ted. Thanks.
Well, and I want to second that emotion because I think we're really fortunate to have someone with your expertise to help us through these times. So thank you.
Thanks, Lena. Appreciate that.
All right. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Anything anyone would like to move from consent to action? If not, the agenda stands as is. Next is achievement and recognition. And first is student and staff. recognition. You got that, Amy?
Yes, and we have Carrie McIntyre is going to talk about that because two of our people that are being recognized, they're from special education, and she's got some words to say and want to present them with a couple of certificates.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't think either of them are on, but Amy Wargelin, who's one of our elementary teachers at Cane Ridge Elementary, was nominated by a parent through the College of Education at UK. She was nominated just for going above and beyond and how much she's worked with her kiddos, and it's all the kiddos. She just works tirelessly to provide services, to find resources, to meet every single student where they're at. And so that was really exciting for her to receive that award from the UK College of Education, because it came from a parent and someone who used to be an employee in Bourbon County. So it was really meaningful, and we wanted to recognize her for going above and beyond. And I know Dana made the plaques that we usually hand out. So we have one of those that we'll give her also. And then Jessica Richards, who is our MSD teacher at the middle school, got nominated, and she is the CKEC Special Ed Teacher of the Year for Bourbon County. And she is so amazing. We're so lucky to have her. She has become such a leader, not only in our district, but in our entire region, participating in the MSD cohort, and just doing everything in her power to help our kiddos who have some of the most severe needs in our district. So we are very lucky to have her. She's awesome. We want to recognize her for going above and beyond also. So those are our two SPED teachers.
Yay!
Thank
They're
you.
the bomb, both of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're really proud of both of those teachers.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Item 2 is communications. First is public comment. I don't guess anybody has signed up. Next is board reports. Anyone have anything to report? Nope.
Not yet.
Well, I went to, oh, what were you saying?
I just said not yet. Go ahead, Lana.
I was just going to say, I was at Amy's meeting that she had with the administrators later, and I think she's going to talk about it. But I was just so impressed with how all of them were just thinking and trying to figure out every little issue. And they were able to bring up all kinds of things that we needed to think about and try to solve in making this important decision that we're going to have to make as a board. So I just really appreciated all of their input and all of their sincere thinking about how to make this work.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah. Dana, note that Randy is here now. Is Dana hearing us? Or?
Yes, I got you. I got it. Thank you.
All right. Next is superintendent reports.
Okay, I'm going to start out with a procedure review of the updated procedures and the policies. And Darlene had all that in your packet, those references. Do y'all have any questions on either of those? I mean, it's all just, you know, pretty self-explanatory when you read about both of those. All right. All right, then I'm going to move on to Melissa, who has our Head Start update, if she's able to share. And I'll think I'm going to come back to her and I'll go over the extracurricular report. And in the extracurricular report at the preschool, we have 94 new students that have registered for preschool. So numbers are up. Bourbon Central, they've had a virtual 21st century camp. So they're thinking outside the box and still servicing students even through all this. Derby Club has reopened as of Monday and things are going very smoothly there. We're at 50% capacity. And they had a 5th grade drive-through for students and created a slideshow for their promotion. At North had virtual summer camps that ran the 1st of June until last week. And they're serving meals out there with the summer feeding program. At Cane Ridge, their promotion was held at the drive-in. A lot of families really enjoyed that. For sports, we've been given the clear to go ahead and start reopening there. We can practice in groups of 10 with very strict social distancing guidelines. That started Monday. It'll open up into another phase on June the 29th. So we're just watching to make sure that, you know, we're following those procedures for safety, those guidelines. Sixth grade teachers, they've created a virtual orientation for incoming sixth graders. And they've made a video that introduces the teachers to the students to try to help with some of that anxiety about transitioning from elementary to middle school. At the high school, we had EKU has a AP scholarship program. And for teachers that have participated in that, they were able to give 3 $500 scholarships to our students. And Betty Watson awarded Dante Webb a $500 scholarship for AP statistics. Leslie Covington awarded a scholarship for AP Art Studio to Emily Welch. And Karen Francis awarded her scholarship for AP English to Ivia Langfels. FCCLA, they once again have been named a school of program of distinction that used to be the Elite 50 program. So congratulations to them on being such a top-notch high school program. And then the culinary room at the high school, they just recently were awarded the classroom makeover like we had at our greenhouse. They're going to now redo our culinary room. So a lot of that stuff's been there since 1983. And I know Jim Ishmael remembers that. I don't, but Todd and Jim do. But that's going to be made over. So we're real excited about that. In FFA, they have completed test plots of soybean and corn has been planted with Hinton Mills. They started a small crop of popcorn out there on the farm. They have 2 heifers that are due any day, and they've started, they planted a small orchard out there. So that farm out there, we are so appreciative that the county has given us that land, and our kids are doing great things out there. We're waiting on some contest results from the state FFA convention. For project graduation at the high school, I hope you all have noticed that the class of 2020 has been given yard signs, and they are in front of the electronic sign. So those will be out there. I think he said for maybe another week, and then kids will pick those up. At the district level, our athletic director and coaches have decided that they do not wish to be obligated to BSN for another year. They prefer to shop more competitively. So all purchases will be approved by the athletic director as well as the school principal. As Ms. Fryman said earlier, we have a district reopening committee, and we have lots of administrators and teachers and bus drivers and parents, and Ms. Fryman came yesterday to represent the board. But we've met several times already this summer. We are working really hard to have an alternate plan in case we can't come together like we want to at the end of the school year. We plan on meeting again next Wednesday at, I think it's 2:30 or 2. Let me check that real quick, because I want you all, if you can come, then I would really like to invite you to come and listen to some of the discussions.
It's 2:30.
And we could use your expertise.
Where is it at, Amy?
It'll be in the boardroom, and we had our mask on and followed all the guidelines. And I still didn't see the time. I think it's 2 o'clock, but I'll send you out a calendar invite. Is it 2:30? Okay, yes. At 2:30 on the 24th. So please try to come. Our goal is to kind of have a plan so that we can ask the board to come together in a working session and be ready kind of to decide on something by the July board meeting. I know parents are getting antsy, kids are getting antsy, teachers. I kind of sent out to all of our staff today just an update, kind of telling them where we are on things, and that so far, you know, we've given the surveys out to teachers, staff members, students, and parents. The one thing that we're going to ask tonight is for the calendar to be amended, and that came from work with this committee, and Jim Ishmael's going to talk more about that in a few minutes. But we just hope to continue working and make good decisions for our kids. And Melissa, can you hear me now? And I think she sent a text, so let me check real quick. She's saying, Wes, that somebody needs to let her in. Looks like she's there though. Okay, well, your preschool, she's connecting to audio. Are you there now? Well, your preschool packet is, your preschool, there she is. Okay.
Hey, okay. I think I'm on the phone and the computer.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, we applied, Head Start had offered a summer school program and you could apply for it. And, Andrea and I worked together to create, what that would look like. And it was actually going to start, the last week of June. It was going to be 4 weeks. This was a while back when we applied for this grant. It was going to be 4-week summer school and we were going to have 4 classrooms, and they only wanted us to bring back children that were Head Start, that had an IEP, or they were 4 years old going to kindergarten. And out of our 183 Head Start kids, that would have been 120 kids that qualified for summer school. We applied for the grant, and then shortly after that, about 3 weeks after we applied, the Head Start, my Head Start specialist contacted everyone in our region and said that everybody, even if you did not apply for the summer school grant, everyone was going to get the funds. We had requested, I think, $145,000 to do summer school, but they just gave everyone a flat rate. You got, I think, $875 per child. So I think that we were going to receive $160,000, but they said everybody's going to get that, you know, get the funds, but you don't have to use it for summer school. It's a one-time, it's like the CARES money. So you can use it any way you want as long as it is used towards something to do with COVID. So they told us that's all we're going to get. So however we use that is our decision. We can use it for summer school or we can use it another way. So I spoke to the policy council about it, the parents, and they had said that they felt like that we should probably hang on to that money, in their opinion, because they didn't know what starting school back would look like, and they were afraid we may need that money. Each week I join a Head Start. They have like a 1-hour webinar thing that you can join just to kind of keep you updated. And this week they were just discussing if we did not come back and we did virtual, we needed to make sure that our staff, you know, they had technology at home, that if they did not have the internet, that we tried to provide them with something if we had the money. So I'm assuming they're wanting us to use funds like that, you know, and they said you could give them like a stipend maybe, and they would just have to show you the bill. So I'm just passing along the information and letting you know the kind of things that they're telling us. But you can use the money. However, like I said, it just needs to be documented how you use it. And it needs to be towards, you know, reopening school or summer school. Or does anybody have any questions?
It was just like to echo what you just said, Melissa. I was at that meeting, and unless I'm wrong, I think you all decided to hold on to that money because we opened up summer school and then have to close down, and we've used, you know, $1 or 100,000, then that money, we're not going to get it back. So I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think we need to hold on to that money to see what, you know, what's going to happen. So that's all.
I don't know, you know, what you guys are doing district wide as far as like students that don't have, you know, technology. You know, I don't know if we need to even survey, you know, our Head Start parents and see if, they have a device at home so our teachers can contact them, through Zoom or however they're going to teach them. I don't know if we're going to have to purchase some kind of special curriculum if we don't come back for online. Yeah, I just don't know what that's going to look like, and I don't know financially what that's going to look like. But they did tell us that's the money we're getting, and it's a one-time fund from what I gather. So,
Well, thank you for sharing
Well, I
that,
think
Melissa.
that sounds good. Yeah, I think that sounds good to hang on to it for a while till we kind of know.
well, and I know Miss Baker had spoke when we were at that reopening committee meeting about like I know we were supposed to have the kindergarten camp.
Right.
I didn't know if we did something maybe virtual. I think we only have 100 spots maybe for students, but if we do something virtual, maybe we could open that up bigger because we already have money set aside from that other grant that we got to pay those teachers for that week. So maybe if we are going to do it virtual, maybe we could open it up to more students,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
try to do something that week to kind of prepare them for kindergarten. So that's,
Yeah, I think that would be a good transition for them.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We also have finally the personnel resignations, retirement transfers. We've had a lot of retirements, and we're going to miss a lot of people that you see on the list. We've had some amazing summer employment. Those people are working really, really hard to get students fed. Our cooks have done an amazing job. Custodians, maintenance, bus drivers, everybody that's just kind of helped as far as driving food around or getting our buildings clean. I got a text from Travis today saying how nice the office looked. Just a lot of painting going on places, and I'm just happy that our buildings look so nice. So that's the end of my superintendent report.
All right. Next, operation action items. First is the consent agenda. Let's see. Do I have a motion?
Huck,
Do I have a motion to have a second?
Candace.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, do likewise. Motion carried. Action items, number 1 is the first read on policies, reference 12 in your pocket. The board is being asked to approve the first read of policy updates and revisions for the policies. Do I have a motion?
Lana.
Have a motion to have a second?
Huck,
Any discussion? Got anything on that, Amy, or any, or?
That's just still that information from my report that Darlene had in your packets that just
Okay.
talks about all those policies. We have to have 2 reads, just
Okay. All right.
some things you've seen, some maybe a little bit new.
Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 2 is liability insurance. The board is being asked to renew insurance coverage with Marsh McLennan Agency, formerly Powell Walton Millward, for property, $89,856. Inland Marine, $2,790. For general liability, $42,053, including educators legal. For auto, $118,874. For crime, $4,110. For umbrella, $31,653. Total premiums, $289,336. Do I have a motion?
Candace.
I have a motion to have a second?
Randy.
Lana. Well,
Yeah.
Randy. Yeah, whatever.
Any discussion?
Well, I'd like to know if this is higher or lower in which areas.
It's a little bit higher, but then workman's comp is down. And that was just a national trend that it's a little bit higher. We've talked to other people, theirs is up. It's a lot of it's due to the fires that we saw.
Yeah.
It kind of balanced each other out when you look at the liability, general liability, compared to the workman's comp.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 3 is workman's compensation insurance, reference 14 in your packet. The board is being asked to approve workers' comp insurance with Van Meter Insurance, AEM, Trust North America in the amount of $84,735. Do I have a motion?
Duck.
Have a motion, to have a second.
Candace,
Any discussion?
I have the same question. Is this higher or lower than last year's?
This one's lower than last year's. That's the
Yeah,
one
okay.
that kind of balanced out that the one above was higher. And this one's lower, and they've done a really good job of helping us to work with our employees and we're just on a run of not having as many workman's comp claims as we had before.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said. I was just double checking.
Okay.
That's good.
Any other questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 4 is 2021 amended calendar, reference 15 in your packet. The board is being asked to approve the amended calendar for the 2020-2021 calendar due to the COVID pandemic. Do I have a motion?
Lana.
Have a motion, to have a second.
Duck.
Any discussion?
Well, I just wanted to say that when I was talking to Amy yesterday, of course, if we vote for this tonight and we go with a different plan after we all meet and discuss it, then we can just merely amend it. We don't have to stick with it.
Yep.
Jim, can you explain some of the things in that? Because I know people are going to ask board members, they're calling here and we're having to explain.
Yes, this is actually an amended calendar. We're not resubmitting our original calendar again that we did back in March. So what this is asking you to approve a variable instructional calendar. And that was put into law a couple of years ago. You know, the legislature and a lot of members wanted that after Labor Day and later start for parks and recreation, things like that for that reason. But anyway, the law says that we can initiate a variable instructional calendar if we start school the first student day on the Monday closest to August 26th, not Labor Day. You might have heard that before, but that's not true. It's August 26th. So this year it would be August 24th would be the first instructional day. Now, you know, our original date was August 7th. So that's quite a bit later, and that gives us a little added time to hear from the Department of Public Health, from Kentucky Board, the commissioner about more guidance to come down the pipe here later on. So anyway, what we would do then is, and you'll see that in the next agenda item, is add 10 minutes of instructional time to each K-12 school for those all student instructional days. And so within that law, we still have to maintain and reach at least 1,062 hours, but the minimum of 170 school days is out the window. We could make our school day so that we only go 150 days, 155. But as it works out and as we've planned it, we're going to do the 10 extra minutes, and that would give us 1,062 hours in 166 school days. So the first day of school then would be August 24th instead of the 7th, and we would get out about 4 to 5 days later than we did last year, but still on May the 20th, which is not anything out of the ordinary. All the other breaks and everything that were built in the middle of the school year remain the same. Fall break, the 2 weeks of Christmas, and spring break. So as you can see on the calendar, if you have the colored version of the calendar that Dana sent you, the PD days on the 3rd and 4th of August, the district planning on the 5th, and the opening day on the 6th remain the same. So With our 166 school days, we get the equivalent of the 170-day minimum calendar by adding 4 teacher equivalency days, which basically with the 10 minutes each day, they've already worked. So those have been placed, you'll notice, in December 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. So they're there, they're school days, they're just placeholders. Teachers do not have to work. They've already put in the time or will have by the end of the school year with the additional 10 minutes. Therefore, with 166 school days, with the 4 teacher equivalency days, that's 170. And then we have the opening, closing, the PD days, and the district planning days. That puts us up to 182. Now, to round out the 185-day calendar for certified employees, the teachers will have to work 3 additional days of district planning there in August. And we agreed yesterday, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And those days will be used to, again, plan for NTI instruction, for virtual lesson plans, in case those kinds of things happen throughout the school year. So that's it in a nutshell. It meets state requirements and for that variable instructional calendar. And hopefully we'll know more by August 24th how school is going to look.
I have a question. Of
Yes.
course, I have a question. Jim Ishmael.
Yes.
That's who's
What
talking.
happened to him? There he is. Well, my first question is, how do I get to be where you are at that baseball game? That you're-
Virtual background.
It's a what?
Virtual background.
Yeah, I knew it was. But anyway, my question was, now lots of plans have been talked about with pros and cons, but one of the plans, would we be able, would this even be an option if we wanted to kind of wait and hope that things get much better? What if we wanted to wait till August the 1st and go to school up and through June, and the teachers working and planning days would all be in July and August of this year? Is that even an option that the teachers and principals could consider, the board could consider?
You said August 1st. You mean September 1st?
No,
October 1st. If we wanted to push it to hoping that maybe we could all come back and not have to wear masks and not have to do all these things. I know we still want to do some of them, but could we do that in our 166 days in by adding 10 minutes? And teachers would do all those extra days that they have to do. They would do them in July and August of 2020, but then they'd start teaching in October. They could even do them in September, and they'd start teaching in October, and the kids would go through until June sometime.
Well, you're
Is that even an option?
That's 27 instructional days you're pushing back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that takes it to the end of June. What it is there, and hopefully by this time next year, we're looking at a traditional calendar and things hopefully getting back to normal. And if you're ending school at the end of June, and now you've started to gear up and you've got a month left
before they'd come back
to come back, and you're hiring new staff, and that's the only thing I would.
Yeah, there are pros and cons to every plan we talked about yesterday, but and that would be one of the cons, but it also might be a way, once we get down the road here into July and August, if they're still saying, you've got to wear a mask and you have to be 6 feet apart unless you can wear a mask. If we decide we don't want to do that, could we do the October 1, hoping that by that time everybody could come back without masks, without the 6 foot? It might not happen.
You could do anything you want. You could do anything you wanted to with it, as long as you get those 1,062 hours in, and teachers have days. but are you going to know any more in another month?
We might
I wouldn't want to push it back and risk it.
to October 1st.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, well, and these are all things that Amy's going to discuss with you, all the different options. And bottom line, we as a board are going to have to decide that. So I've just been kind of studying every scenario and thinking about what's the worst thing about this plan, what's the best thing about this plan. I haven't found a perfect plan yet, and I haven't found anybody that has one, but maybe we can come up with a good one. And I don't know what it'll look like, but I know that we're going to have to make that decision. And I just want to make one that's a good one.
And, in the next
So
4
you-
we could learn more from the Department of Education, Department of Public Health, and we could do this again in July. We could amend it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We can always change it if we come up with a good plan. And there are all kinds of hybrids that we talked about yesterday, and all kinds of different ones that have good points to them and bad points. And we're going to have to pick one.
any other questions? If not, the chair calls for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. The number 5 is amendment for student attendance days, reference 16 in your packet. Board is being asked emergency approve the amendment to policy 8.31 student attendance days. Do I have a motion?
Hook,
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Lana?
Any discussion? That's just the extra 10 minutes. Is that right, Mr. Ishmael?
Yes,
Yes.
10 minutes added to the end of each school day.
And we didn't specify that in the policy. Right now, it's got the start time. So Darlene said if we just delete all those start times, then that policy will match the item you all just voted on.
And that's why we have to do it as an emergency, so.
Right.
Because otherwise, we have policies that are inconsistent with this calendar. Well, I told Darlene we have to do it as an emergency.
Can't hear him.
He was just saying that we have policy that's inconsistent with what you all just voted on, and that's why we're making this change. We really don't need all those times in here. We just want to delete that out of the policy and not have specific times for what each school starts. It's just going to be 10 more minutes added on to the end of the day.
that won't mess up bus schedules for the middle school or anything else then?
No, we've already kind of worked all that out.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 6 is a preschool construction project. The board is being asked to approve Ross Tarrant to develop a set of bid documents for the bus drop off at the preschool center at a cost of $6,000. Do I have a motion?
Lana?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Hook,
Any discussion?
That is just so that the other one we talked about the last time was where if Ross Tarrant was just letting Alliance have those documents, would save us a little bit of money. But then we went through all that last time that we think we need to go back to the drawing board, develop the bid documents and see what all different construction companies come back with.
I think that'd be
Take
the
a
best
little bit more
idea.
time.
Any questions? If not, the chair calls for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Any other board business anyone have? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Hook,
I have a
Damn
motion.
it.
I have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
See you
Well,
guys.
that was quick.
Yeah.
See y'all later.